Hey sis, welcome back to Hey Sis, is that Peri? And it's me again, your BFF, your couch buddy, your sister from another mister. It's Christy. And together again, like I always say, here we are on this wonderful roller coaster and ride called Perimenopause. So today we're talking about mood swings. The roller coaster, the up and down of emotions, the things that get you snapping at your kids, snapping at your spouses, or whatever in between. Okay, so we're gonna find out, is it mood swings, or am I just tired of every single person that's in my way? Do I want a woosah moment, or do I want to punch somebody in the face? What is it? So today we're gonna find that out. Welcome back to the couch, and I hope you remember last week's challenge, because last week's challenge was for you to talk to somebody and let them know that you were going through perimenopause or menopause in and of itself. So I hope you did that, and I hope you brought another sis to the couch. So if you did, say hey in the comments, and if your sis is right there next to you, hey sis, welcome to the channel. My name is Christy. So before we jump into today's topics of mood swings, we're going to do our famous Peri check-in. So what I want to know is, how did Peri treat you this week? Remember, drop it in the comments. Affirm another sis. Let her know that you're there. Let her know that you see her. But let me know, how did perimenopause, or menopause in and of itself, how did it treat you this week? Were you frustrated? Were you angry? Did you want to cuss out your coworker? Did you want to snap at somebody? Did you take a walk, or were you chill? Were you cool like a summer breeze, sitting on the beach with your toes in the sand? Whatever the feeling was, whatever the mood or the vibe was that you were having this week, I want to know, and drop it in the comments. So, as always, we'll start with me. This week was a combination of headaches and emotion, full blown emotion, roller coaster ride. And I think I told you for last week's episode, it was full emotion. This week, I was having more emotions. I don't know what it is about my emotions this cycle of my life, these last couple of weeks. But baby, perimenopause continues to have me in a chokehold and will not let me go. All I'm asking is for just me to have a normal day. Let me not have a day where somebody is getting on my last nerve, okay? And it's not just me thinking I'm going crazy. Let me have a day where I can just coast through the day, where everything is a good day, and we're chilling and we're vibing, work is fine, the kids are fine, dating is like, let's just have one of those days. No, we can't have that. Because perimenopause wants to come in and be like, that refrigerator was so loud today. Yeah, so that's how Peri was treating me. I was walking through the house. I came out of my room, and my room is directly by the kitchen. So the other two rooms, the office, this room, and then my son's room is like living room connected. It's like a little hallway. So my room, when you come out of my room, you go directly into the kitchen. So there's like countertops on one side, cabinets and countertops, and then the other side's got the refrigerator, the stove, and then shapes in the L, and then there's a brain. There's a dishwasher and a sink. Okay, Peri brain. That's what we're gonna call it. So I come out, and mind you, I'm home alone. There's nobody here, and I hear this sound. It's this, just this little. It's like you can barely hear it, but I can hear it enough. Okay, so I'm like, what is that noise? Like, what is it? Y'all, you ready for this? It was the sound of the air fryer. The air fryer was not even on. It was just the electrical current going through the air. I unplugged it. Everything, every extra noise was getting on my last nerve. I'm sitting here later on that day. I'm trying to watch a movie, and I don't have a basement. I have a double wide modular home. And so, like, the air is on the main floor, the central air thing, furnace. And so I'm hearing it go off, and it's just this loud whooshing sound. And I'm just like, I don't want to turn the air off, because we talked about last week. Last week it was hot flash. So if I turn the air off, then this rush of heat comes over my body, and then I'm hot. So I gotta have the air on, but the sound of the air was driving me batty. I'll give you one more example. This next example is the annoyance of the sound and my emotions combined together in one. So I'm in the kitchen and I'm cooking dinner. I think I'm making chicken to put like on a chicken salad. If anybody knows me, they know my son, they know that he is a very picky eater. So there's certain things that I can make for him that he can eat and certain things he will not eat. So in this particular day, he would be willing to eat the chicken. I would have to give him separate sides because he'll eat salad, but he won't eat it with dressing. So it'd be like lettuce, just plain lettuce, but that's a whole nother story. So I'm sitting there and I am cutting the chicken up and I had seasoned it, cutting it and all that jazz. And then all of a sudden, nowhere, I just started crying and I'm just weeping. I am boo hooing like someone came in there and said, like, I don't know, like I was ugly or something. I don't know. Like I was crying so bad that I looked over and my 7-year-old is like, Mommy, what's wrong? And I'm like, nothing. I'm okay. I'm okay. And it was just my emotions. And so I had to leave and compose myself. And then I'm upset. Then I'm crying because he's upset and he's worried because he's a very empathetic and caring child. And so he's upset that I'm upset and he wants to make everything better. So now I'm upset that I've upset him. And now I'm not even hungry anymore. Okay. So my emotions have been all over the place. Okay. So you'll see me again. Like I have notes, just like I had last week. It just helps keep me on track and some of the things that stay on my mind, and so that my Peri brain doesn't take them away and they go fly away like cuckoo's nest. Okay. So that was my week. I hope that you have dropped your week, whether it was good, bad, indifferent. Put that in the comments. And again, affirm somebody else, encourage somebody else to put comments as well. And then let's do a purple heart as of now if you've made it this far in the video. So if you made it this far, we're just a couple minutes in, you've made it past the Peri check-in, we're going to do a purple heart. Drop a purple heart in the comments. Just let me know that you're there and that you see me, because just like you want encouragement, you want to be affirmed, I want encouragement, I want to be affirmed. Again, like I continue to say in each of these videos, this is a space for us. This couch is for us. And this is a space for us to all be comfortable. And I want to continue to be vulnerable with you all and let you all know that you're not alone. And I'm having a hot flash. So, real life here, real life here. So, we're going to talk about mood swings, okay? The emotional turbulence, the shifting reactions, and learning to ride the roller coaster, okay? So, we're going to go through some examples of different things that you can feel. So you can have a sudden mood swing, a little bit of irritation, a little bit of anger, just out of nowhere. Like you're sitting there, you're fine, you're watching the movie. Somebody could say something to you and it just triggers a reaction. It might not even be what they said or how they say it. It's just the way that you're like, it's like a chemical imbalance. Like the chemical imbalance in your brain is going off at that moment. It could just trigger something and you just like, I don't know. I don't know how else to explain it, but that's what it is. Anxiety and racing thoughts, constantly on the go, like the hamster wheel inside your mind, just going. Never feeling like you have like an off switch, always feeling like you're on. Like for me, I say like I have a file cabinet, all these file cabinets in my brain, and they're all open. And it'll be like, someone will be like, oh, well, right, remember this. I'm like, I can't take in another thing because something's going to get deleted and I'm not going to know what's going to get deleted till I need it. So I have all these file cabinets open and there's folders kind of sticking out. And that's kind of like how my brain is. Emotional sensitivity, crying at commercials or snapping mid-sentence. Like maybe you're watching something or you're watching an Instagram video or a TikTok video or reel, and now you're crying like somebody's cutting onions. You watching a video and it's so sweet of like a puppy doing something or somebody's kid doing something. Or I was watching a video the other day of this girl on Instagram. She was on a reel. She's like a YouTuber, and she was crying because it's back to school time. So the kids are going back to school, and this is her daughter's like preschool, first year going to preschool, and she was crying. And I empathize with that so much. And now I'm sitting here crying and feeling my emotion. My son is 7. bro. He's 7. He has been to school the last few years, and I'm sitting there scrolling, like crying and like wiping my eyes and having this big old lump to kind of keep myself from crying. It was a lot. Feeling detached or overwhelmed by people. That's been another one. Just being in a space where there's people and you're just overwhelmed. You're overwhelmed. You're already feeling like you could be touched out. I have a 7-year-old who's very clingy. He's very mom oriented. So he just wants to be around me. He just wants to be up under me. And there are times where I'm just like, hey, mommy's hot. I need you to give me 5 minutes. And so he can get off of me. I can calm my body down. I can cool my body down. And then he can come around and he can like put his hand on my shoulder. He can hold my hand because he wants to rub my shoulder, hold my hand. He loves to give hugs and kisses. So all those things can make the situation worse, unfortunately. Auditory overload, everyday sounds feel unbearable. I have definitely been there. Have you been in a situation where you are driving to work and you just need a moment? Or I know a lot of people do this one because I have talked to many women who do this one. They get home from work and they just sit in the car. They're not listening to music. They're not talking on the phone. They're just overstimulated. It could be auditory overstimulation, it could be physical overstimulation, but they're just overstimulated and they need a moment before they step out of one transition into the next transition. So, out of one transition of leaving work and walking into the house where the husband, the spouse, the kids, the cat, the dog, the fish, whatever is all going to need your attention and your focus, and you're already overwhelmed, you're already overstimulated. I've been there. Or same way, the transition of leaving work or a peaceful environment, going into the grocery store or going to work. There are times that I've driven to work in complete silence. Like I don't want to talk to nobody on the phone. I don't want to listen to any music. I don't want the windows down. I just want to breathe and drive. I have a very demanding job where I'm multiple locations and have multiple people up under me. And so sometimes the anticipation of what's needed when I get there makes me overloaded and overwhelmed. So I have to just de-stress even before I get there. So I have to just like breathe. I'm not listening to music, not listening to any like podcasts or anything. I'm chilling. I am currently on some audiobooks right now that I'm kind of loving, but even sometimes I don't want to listen to them. Like the sound, like I have turned TVs off, I have unplugged appliances, I have turned lights off, I have put my phone on airplane mode. I've done all of those things to keep my peace. Okay. Um, what's another one? Guilt or shame after emotional outbursts. I just talked about that one. So I gave you the example of me sitting in the kitchen making dinner, having an emotional response to me cooking dinner that came out of nowhere. And then I had an additional like guilt because I've now made my baby, my 7-year-old, upset because he's worried about me being upset. So now I'm like, oh no, now I made you. So now I want to cuddle him, I want to hug him, and I want to pull myself out of my feelings and into making sure that he's okay. So the guilt and the shame of that is another one. um Confusion over what's hormonal versus what's circumstantial. So is these my hormones? Is it the situation that's just irritating me? Is it a combination of both? Being able to separate the two, I think, is a lot of times where the struggles come from, where we can get frustrated because we're like, again, we're learning ourselves and we're learning our bodies through this transition, and we don't really know where these feelings are coming from. So we're like, okay, is this a brand new feeling? Is this a new feeling? Is this perimenopause? Is it menopause? Or everybody's just getting on my nerves? Or are they in the wrong? Or am I overreacting? And so learning yourself, and like I said in the last video, tracking how you're feeling, tracking what changes you're making to your life, your diet, exercise, those things, tracking the improvements from those will help you break down what's what. Um, so that's another one that goes through. So um, hormonal shifts during perimenopause, especially estrogen fluctuations, can impact neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine. those are the things that regulate your mood. Okay. So it's important to know that, because like you get the dopamine hits, like you get the feel good hormones. Like, you ever seen the video of, like, I've seen it somewhere where you do like a 20-second hug or a 20-second kiss or whatever, and it releases the happy feelings or the happy hormones. Those things play a part. So recognizing that you're overloaded is a real thing. Knowing what to do in that situation is what's going to empower you to take control over your life and to control over the situation. Knowing that you need a moment, advocating for yourself, having the conversations with your friends around you, your husband, your spouse, your girlfriends, your sisters, your moms, your grannies, your aunts, your uncles, having the conversations with them so that you can understand what these feelings are and where these are coming from, will give you a better idea how to prepare for it when the situation happens, or when the emotion comes. Because without it, then that's why you're feeling like you're a little bit all over the place. So back to the story where I was cooking the dinner, it was one thing that was also additional. So I was making my dinner, Carson was already eating. And you ever been in a situation where someone was chewing, it was just getting on your nerves, and you're just be like, can you chew quieter? And it sounds so petty. And I'm sorry. Like, again, I said I was going to be real. So I'm going to be real. It sounds petty and it sounds bad. Yeah, but these are real feelings. These are real situations. These are real things that I have thought in my mind. I've thought in my head, where even people are talking to me and I'm just like, they're talking. And in my mind, I want to be like, get to the point. Like, here's the bush and they're all around the moment. No, can you go straight through the middle? I need you to go straight through the middle, get to the point, good, bad, and different, because you're pulling me and you're doing a lot of talking right now, and you're talking too much, and I don't want you talking anymore because my mood is fluctuating, and I'm annoyed at the sound of the air, of the door creaking, of your chewing. I, they're real situations. The hum from the refrigerator, you know, nobody really talks about that side of perimenopause. They talk about like the symptoms, the body symptoms, but they don't talk about the annoyance and the things that it does and how it makes you feel. Like, you kind of hear about this other stuff, which is why we're talking about it now. When it comes to part to just people annoying you, we don't really talk about that. So, um, it's funny. Let's find this out. What do your mood swings look like? Are they loud? Are they silent? Are they messy? Mine kind of fluctuate. I can swing out of nowhere and I'm just be like, oof, that one was a bit rough. Like, I'm snapping at somebody, I'm snapping at people, or I've been in a situation where, like, I know my mood is weird and I'm just quiet. I'm completely quiet. I'm completely quiet outside, but in my head, I'm going a mile a minute. I'm saying stuff, so much stuff in my head, like, okay, if I say this, it's gonna come out this way. If I don't say something for too long, this person's gonna be like, "What's wrong with you? You're not talking." If I say it this way, it's gonna be funny acting. So in my mind, I'm not quiet. Outside, I'm quiet. Yeah, so I've had a little bit of loud, I've had a little bit of silent. Don't really have messy mood swings, but I've definitely had the loud, I've definitely had the silent. um have you ever been or had an emotional lull that surprised you? Drop that in the comments. Have you ever been in a situation where your mood swings came so crazy that it literally shocked you? Like, where did that come from? I haven't yet. I don't think so. For right now, because I'm doing the research, because I'm trying to be so aware. Like, right now, I'm thinking everything's perimenopause. Like, I could trip over a rock and I'd be like, oh, perimenopause. Like, I don't know. Like, right now, everything's perimenopause for me because I want to put a name to it, because I'm tired of dealing with the nuances and the roller coasters and the up and down. So look at me funny and I'm thinking it's perimenopause. Like, nope, that's perimenopause. Like, I don't know. Not really, but really. Okay. Um, how do you protect your peace when emotions feel unpredictable? Mm, that's a good one. I'm going to save a little bit of space for that one. I'll read it again. How do you protect your peace when emotions feel unpredictable? I get quiet. I'm just I'm a quiet person when it comes to potential conflict in general. It's something I'm working on, I'm working on it. But in general, with the potential of somebody being upset or angry at me, I kind of shut down. So, when to protect my peace and to protect me from saying anything or the conversation becoming too heated, I definitely am quiet. I definitely will shut down. Is that always the best option? No, because I have left situations crying before because I did not say what I felt I should have said. But in the moment, my first reaction was to not respond so that I don't negatively respond. In that moment, that was protecting my peace. But what's protecting your peace after you've made the choice that you made to protect your peace? that's a that's a mouthful. So I don't know, chat. Um, have you ever been misunderstood or dismissed because of how Peri affects your mood? Yes, absolutely. I was told that I was just being a crybaby. I was just being emotional. That I should get over it. But what people don't realize, and this is why the conversation is important to have with spouses and children, even your children, because I have older kids. And sometimes, even in having conversation with the older kids, it's not that I don't want to talk to them, it's that I could be in a mood, I could be having an emotional high at that moment or be overstimulated. So their talking or no noise in general could be making my anxiety continue to creep. And this is something that I have no control over. I'm not sitting there like, yeah, I want my anxiety to be high or I'm frustrated. I love my kids to life. Okay. They are my three heartbeats. Okay. I have three boys. But sometimes I have no control over what imbalance is going on in my brain or my hormones. Like, so if I'm frustrated and then I'm already here, and then somebody comes in and they want to talk because they're here and they need me to bring them down here, now I'm up here. Now I'm up here trying to bring them from here to here, and I'm up here. So when they get off the phone, they're down, and I'm up here. My anxiety, my leg is twitching, it's tapping my ear, it's itching. I got a twinge in my eye. Like who knows? Who knows? We go through all these situations. Um, so here's another question, and I want to know before I ask this question. Um, I want to know if you have support. That's part of the question. Do you have support in this journey? Do you have somebody that you can talk to, that you can go to, that you can bounce ideas off of, symptoms off of? Do you have a workout buddy? Do you do you have a Peri buddy? Hell, do you have a Peri buddy? I think we all need a Peri buddy. If you don't have a Peri buddy, we can be Peri pen pals. Drop it in the comments if you do not have somebody else to talk to. If you are looking for another woman to talk to be a sis, a Peri sis, a sis from another mister, a sister from another mister that can empathize and understand what you're going through, drop that in the comments. Let somebody else know in the comments that you are looking for somebody else to walk through this journey so that you don't have to feel alone. You don't have either your mom is no longer here or you don't have the best relationship with her. Maybe you don't have sisters or siblings where you can talk this, or maybe they're in a different phase of life so they don't really understand what you're going through. If you don't have that person, put that in the comments so somebody else can be that person for you. This does not mean that y'all are going to be BFFs. You're going to be on the phone every single day. Maybe it's just a check-in. Maybe it's just a check-in saying, "Hey girl, how you doing?" Maybe it's just an exchange of emails or Instagrams. I don't know. It could be something very simple. It doesn't have to be all crazy, but maybe it's something as simple as, "I just wanted to let you know I was thinking about you today. And I hope Peri is treating you well this week." It could be that simple. So if you're looking for a community, this is our community. If you're looking for an individual sis to kind of talk to you and reach out to you from time to time, say something in the comments. And heck, why don't y'all drop y'all Instagram handles? We can follow each other. We can say what's up. You never know. So drop them. So to my question, if you're looking for support, let us know. But then what does support look like to you from your inner circle? And are they showing up? What does support look like to you? And are they showing up? And I'm gonna be honest, I don't think that, especially in the Black community, we're not talking about this enough. So I don't really know who's showing up where. I don't know if there's any conferences. I don't know if people are getting together. I would love to talk to another female Black doctor that would be willing to come sit on this couch or willing to do an interview to kind of talk about some of the things that we can do as Black women to combat some of the symptoms that we have to go through and deal with to make them less harsh. I mean, because if we have to go through them regardless, what can we do? What are natural ways that we can fight these symptoms that isn't introducing additional chemicals in our body? What are some natural ways that we can fight this stuff? So if you know somebody, a Black female doctor, OBGYN, or somebody that specializes in perimenopause and menopause, we'd love to have them come on. I'm sure you guys would love to have it. Just another person from the clinical perspective, because again, I'm not clinical. I am going through experiences. I'm sharing my experiences with you all so that we can talk about these experiences together. So for me, support looks like a group of women sitting down, and whether we're having just a pizza night, an ice cream night, a charcuterie board, whatever the case may be. And we're all sitting down and we're talking about, hey, this worked for me. I realized that at 39, I was going through this. Or somebody says, well, I didn't start having symptoms or issues until I was 45. Or somebody else was like, I started it, early mid 30s or early 40s, whatever the case may be. That's what I feel like support looks like. And then support to me would also look like, it's okay. It's okay to feel like you're a little bit off, but let's walk through this together. Okay. And are they showing up? If you have a circle, are they showing up? And if they are showing up, kudos to them. Girl, thank them. Thank everybody that's showing up for you, because some people do not have that. So we can do some different things to affirm ourselves and affirm other people. Like, put a name to it, talk about what it is, talk about the symptom, and then start journaling. If you have a pattern that you're noticing, this is why I talked about doing the notes in the previous episode. Like, if you have your period app and you know you're doing something, like, notate the symptoms, but take it deeper and start journaling. Like, you know, August, whatever, I did this. I had this situation happen. I reacted this way. I have been taking these something. And then when you start tracking and journaling, you'll start to know what's working. I did a 5K. Exercising is them happy endorphins. Releasing those endorphins. I used to run, and I have to get back to it. I was running the equivalent of a 5K like every weekend. So running to me is the closest thing to flying. Like, I feel so free running. Like, I don't even know how to explain. They talk about runner's high. When I tell you it's a real thing, it's a real thing. Like, I have the most energy. I feel the best about myself. I have the most motivation after running 3.1 miles. Now, granted, I have not done much of it because the time before the last, I something with my foot, and then I'm having issues with my knee. So someone suggested that I try yoga. So I'm going to be trying yoga and slowly getting back out there to run, because I was running in the cold, I was running in the hot, it didn't matter. Early in the morning, I would get up, would put my watch on, and I would run the equivalent of a 5K. And I would just run in the neighborhood, run a certain distance, half of the 5K, and then run back to my house. And then I'd come home and I'd cut the grass, and I do yoga, because I would have all of this energy. Like, yes, I would do it right before I cut the grass or right after I cut the grass, because now I'm like, I'm up, I'm out, I'm energized. I got happy endorphins pumping through my body. I don't know what it is about like planting flowers and doing all this stuff. It always made me feel good. So exercise is one thing that makes me feel good. So what is it that will make you feel good to continue through this journey? Um, Again, deep breathing, stretching. I wrote down quiet walks. For me, it would be walks or running. Um, Something that you can say to yourself, I got this. I can handle this. I'm stronger than this symptom. I'm managing a lot today. Let me circle back. If you're someone's asking you to do something, just let them say, I'm managing a lot today. Let me circle back in about an hour. Be aware, be cognizant of how you're feeling, and be honest. Don't allow people to dump on you when you're not in a space to be able to receive that. So if someone is like, hey, can you do this? Hey, can you do this? And you're always the yes person, you're always the fixer, you're always the go-to person, you're going to have to start saying no a little bit. Oof, and I'm talking to myself with that because I'm always like, oh, I got it. I can turn your chaos into something beautiful. That's literally like the thing I sell people. But I'm going to have to start telling people no, because the overstimulation and the overwhelm, all that stuff is triggering. And in this phase of life called perimenopause, it's a crash and burn. It won't work out well for anybody. Um, you can find some emotional soft spots like playlists, comfort shows, bestie calls. Remember, I said find somebody to talk to. That is going to be one of the most important things that I'm finding out. Like through my research, I am seeing more and more that having a person to talk to through this is probably one of the top things. Of course, dealing with your symptoms, finding things that works better, but just having somebody to make you feel like you're not losing your mind is a game changer. It's going to make you feel like you are definitely not in this battle alone. So, emotional regulation strategies like mindfulness and journaling can help reduce the intensity of your mood swings. That's why that's important. So, if you want to slow them down, excuse me, then those are some good things. Those are some good things that you can do. I wrote down some other things just as some reminders. You're allowed to feel. You're allowed to have feelings. You're allowed to be frustrated. You're allowed to be anxious. They're all normal. You don't owe anyone any type of like emotional perfection, okay? Especially when you're going through a shift. Like you don't owe them to hold it together. That's not for them. When you're having an emotional swing or an emotional shift, you don't owe anybody anything. Only thing that you do is to owe yourself the realization that you're going through something. Okay? Nobody talks about that. No one talks about like this is something that's out of your control and everybody wants you to just hold it together. Well, sometimes you might not be able to hold it together. Sometimes you might need to go to your car and just exhale. I've done that. I've been at work when it's too much and too many people going on, or I've been at work and it's too many people in my office and I've had to shut the door and lock it. Put a sign. I'm on a meeting. I'm not even in a meeting. I'm putting a sign on the door saying I'm in a meeting. I'm not in a meeting. I'm in a meeting with myself. Me and Peri are talking and we're having a full-on argument in my head. So that's my meeting. Okay. So sometimes you may have to shut your office door, put a in a meeting sign, and you and Peri may have to have a meeting. You might have to put Peri in check and say, listen, I'm at work. I'm aware that you're making me feel this way right now, but I need to take control. So you have you some little ashwagandha gummies, chew on a couple of those. I think Ali makes some. Whatever you gotta do to keep your mood stabilized, then that's what you gotta do. Okay. Um, so yeah. What was the other thing? It's a lot, it's a lot that we have to go through, and I don't want anybody to feel like it's too much. And that was the other thing. I always felt like, even in like talking about it in dating or even just my life, I always felt like whatever I was going through was too much for somebody else. I did. Even as a teenager or a young adult, where before I had kids, like I have been through a lot in my life. I really have. And in talking to people, I never felt like I had a village. I never felt like I had a group of people to really talk to. Not to say that I didn't have people come in and out my life that were seasons in my life where I had somebody to talk to, but I never really felt like I had a consistent group of people that I've grown up with and where I could just talk to, or even like older, like parents and aunts and uncles. Like, I never felt like what I was going through would be like okay. I always felt like it was too much for somebody, or they would even say like, "Oh, that's too much for me." Like, and in my mind, I would be like, "Well, don't ask me how I'm doing if you don't really want to know." You know, if you don't really care to know how I'm feeling or what's going on with me, then please don't ask, because you have to be prepared for him to be like, "Today I feel like crap." You can't just be like, "Oh, okay, well, I was just asking." No, 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 no. That's a conversation. Okay? You can't just be like, "Hey, how are you? I haven't heard from you. How are you? And I just want to check in with you. How are things?" Like, "Oh, thanks so much for checking in. I actually have not been in a good headspace." And like, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that." Like, no, now we're having a conversation. Okay? So don't ask somebody, and that's for everybody else. Like, don't ask somebody how they're doing if you don't really want to know. Or like, and especially through as we learn more and more about this, like having a person or having a safe space to have somebody to talk to is, like I said before, is super, super, super important for people to be able to be like, okay, all right, you really going through some stuff. So yes. So let's talk about some natural remedies for emotional balance. Again, these are just tips, not clinical. Some stuff research I did. We talked about ashwagandha, so that calms the cortisol levels. Maca root, which we have not talked about. Maca root boosts your mood and your energy. So they have capsules. Um, I believe it might ashwagandha and macaroon might increase libido as well if you're having issues in that area, because perimenopause can affect your sexual health as well. So FYI. Magnesium and B vitamins, they ease anxiety, they support serotonin levels. You can find them in leafy greens, almonds, beans, add them to a smoothie, things of that nature. I personally um, love sea moss. I'm like, what am I trying to say? Sea moss really helps my energy levels. And they have gummies, but I get the capsules. I order them from, it's a place in Detroit. I think it's called like Detroit Superfoods or something like that. But I love the sea moss capsules. When I take those consistently, because I have not been taking them consistently because I don't like pills. Again, like I told you, I don't like pills. Like, if y'all can make all this stuff in like a gummy bear vitamin or something, like, you just have me. But I cannot stand taking pills. So and I know I have had like the sea moss gel that's like flavored like the mango. Like, I love that. That's really good. I could just take a spoonful of it and eat it, and I'd be good. But that really boosts my energy and keeps me from being super exhausted. So I love that. And then stay moving, dance, yoga, running a 5K. They got running groups, walking in nature. You don't gotta have a gym, y'all. You can do it right in your house. You can put up a YouTube video and type in what you want. You can do at home yoga or running, or go to Five and Below and get some 10-pound weights or 5-pound dumbbell, or get the resistance bands. There's so many things that you can do. The first step is just starting. The first step is just doing. Like, once you get beyond step one of starting, and then you get beyond the consistency of continuing to do, it's way easier. Once you build a habit of just consistently doing it, doing it every day, or whatever your frame is, every 2 days, every 3 days, once a week, once you get beyond the hump of actually getting started and being consistent in it, it's just easy. It's cake from there. Um, Another thing you can do is turn on a song and get the cries out. You need to get it out, get it out. One thing I want to do And maybe I'll do a video of it and take you guys along, like kind of do a vlog, but this is not really going to be a vlog channel. But it's one of those rage rooms. Just get it out. Take an emotional day, take something and break some stuff. Just like take a bat and just tear up some stuff. That I think they dress you like from head to toe and you get these goggles on and you get to just break up stuff. I really want to do that. Like I encourage us to like find something as an outlet to release the feelings and emotions and the hormones that will make us feel better. Running is mine. That's my number one. Um, and then I really want to try the rage room. Like I really, really want to do that. I've seen people do it. Like I can see me doing it and just breaking down. Like I can feel it. I can feel it all in my shana now. Like I know, like I would just be like, and just like break down or something. Um, and then honestly, therapy. Therapy is not a bad thing. I just encourage therapy. Whether you're going through something personally or not, I encourage therapy just in general. Even if you weren't doing perimenopause or menopause, like just to have an outlet of a person that you can talk to bounce stuff off of, that can kind of keep you aligned and talk you out of cussing out an employee, you know. Whatever it is, I mean, whatever it is they can talk you out of, I'm all for, I'm an advocate for. So I think that's perfect. Therapy is a good one. They got therapy for Black girls. There's a whole bunch of stuff. So Google. And if you're into like spiritual stuff, like meditation and church, and do the things, do all the things, do them. Talk to God, meditate, be still, do it. If that's what works for you, then by all means do it. Whatever it is that's going to pull you into a realm of peace, then that's what I think you should do. Okay? So what I want to know is, what is the hardest part of your mood swings lately? And have you found something that helps? I think for me, the hardest part of them is just them kind of coming out of nowhere. It's just, and I say out of nowhere, but obviously I feel like with this one, there's a buildup that I haven't like taken inventory of. Like, so I know I'm getting to a certain level, and before I get here, I haven't done the work all the way down here. So it's a buildup. It's coming out of nowhere, but it's not, you know. So that's kind of like the hardest thing. And well, that and dealing with the mood swings in perimenopause as a single full-time employee and full-time parent. There are times that you have to put aside how you feel to be able to parent your child. And that's what happens. As parents, we put their needs a lot of times ahead of ours. But in these situations, when mommy needs a moment and mommy might need time out, or I have to go into my room, it's sometimes I don't want my children to feel rejected, but I want them to be cognizant that I also need a moment. And so I think it's important. This is why I think it's important for you to talk to your children. And I have boys. And so they will never go through perimenopause or menopause, but they will eventually have a girlfriend or wife or fiance that is going to go through perimenopause. And so what I want to do is equip them as two of them men and then one growing into a man, how to be empathetic to the person that they care about as they navigate this phase in their life. Because it's not easy. It's not for the faint of heart. It's not for the weak. But we also don't have a choice. So I would challenge husbands and fiancés and boyfriends to empathize with the person that you care about. Let them know that you see them and you know that they are not broken. and that they're not alone and that they're not crazy. Affirm them. Let them know that it's okay to feel the way that they feel. And then ask them what you can do as a significant other to support them in this journey. Now I get it. Y'all are cold and we're hot. And we want the air on 70 and you might want it on 75. Unfortunately, we should win in that situation. But there would have to be a happy medium between the two. All I'm saying is have the conversation. Have the conversation so that the two of you guys can fight this together. Because there's going to be things that as men that they go through that we're not going to understand, and we also need to empathize with them. So in order for a healthy relationship to vibe and to go through this phase of her life is to talk about it. You don't know unless you're having the conversation. So have the conversation. Um Also, when you see another woman being real in the comments, say hey, give her some love, and let her know that you see her. Okay. I really want us to be looking out for the comments that have no comments. You know, if there's one person that's in there saying something and no one's liked their comment or nothing, I'm going to try to go through and make sure I like every single comment, make sure I comment every single one as long as I can. This blows up and I get millions of comments, and I might not be able to do that. But in the beginning stages, I will do my absolute best to comment or like as many comments as I can. Um, you know, this is a wild ride, y'all. This is a wild ride. And I hope that this episode of Mood Swings has brought you some clarity, um, and some understanding, and just another friend, y'all. Another friend. Another friend. This week, I need to come up with a challenge. I want to do a challenge every week. Just like each week we do a Peri check-in, I want each week for us to do a challenge. So last week's challenge was to tell somebody that you're going through perimenopause. This week's challenge, I want you to find something that you enjoy doing that will pull you out of a mood swing. Or find, so you have two challenges, okay? So find something that you enjoy doing that will help pull you out of a mood swing. And then I want you to find a safe word, okay? I love this idea. I want you, and I just like, I'm off the top of the dome, y'all, off the top of the dome. I'm just thinking of this. So I want you to find a safe word for your family, for your friends. Hell, if you even got to do it at work, for your coworkers, a safe word that tells the people around you that you need a minute. I don't know if you guys say apples, strawberries, whatever. That one word or phrase, whatever it may be, is going to tell the people in your life that you need a moment, whether you're overstimulated, whether you're having a mood swing, whether you're having a hot flash, whatever it is that you're feeling in that moment. This week's challenge is to come up with a safe word so that your husband or your sister or your spouse knows that you are going through something in that moment and you might need 5 minutes. It could even be something that's like, give me 5. I don't know. That's very direct. It's very understanding, but have the conversation of why you're having the safe word so they can understand the why behind it. So there isn't rejection on the opposite side. So it's important to have the conversation, okay? So that they understand that when you say the safe word, maybe they need something and they want something from you. But if in that moment you're overstimulated and you need to use that safe word, if you do the explanation before you start using it, then it won't feel like rejection. So if your safe word, if your kid is coming up to you and your spouse is coming up to you and they want to cuddle and they want to be all up under you, but you're having a hot flash and you're overstimulated by the sounds, auditory overstimulation, and you need a moment, and your safe word is apples, and they sit down and they're next to you and they're like, oh mommy or oh babe, and they're all on you, and you say apples, and then they stop, then it works. And then you can walk away and you can take a minute, 5 minutes. You can set a timer even. That works really well for my son. You know, I can set a timer for him and I'll be like, Mama needs 5 minutes. Okay. Or what I used to do, because my son was nursed for about 15 months. He's very clingy. I love that he loves me. I really do. But he's very clingy. But I used to tell him his boundaries. He would want to be on me so much. And if I needed a moment, it got to a point I actually stopped nursing, not because he was done, it's because I was touched out. I was overstimulated at that time. And so I transitioned him off of me and into a sippy cup. And I used the word boundaries. And so he's a very touchy feely child. And so that is my word with him. Although it works now, as I'm in perimenopause, I can say boundaries. And he will immediately be like, okay, mommy, how many minutes? And I'll be like, I need 10 minutes. And he will go to my Google and say, hey, Google, set a timer for 10 minutes. And then she'll set a timer for 10 minutes. And then 10 minutes is up. He won't immediately jump on me. He will ask me at that point, is it okay now? Do you feel better? Can I lay with you? So that's the point. That's the purpose of the conversation. So that the buildup is there so that your family doesn't feel rejected. They're just understanding that you're having a moment in that time, and they give you the respect and the space that you need in that time. Okay. So those are your challenges. Those are your assignments. Challenge one is find something that you love to do that will bring you joy, that will release positive endorphins, and that can pull you out of a mood swing. That's one. Two is find a safe word. Find something that you can tell your friends, your family, your spouse, your children, that will give you some moments of peace alone when you're overstimulated, you're having a hot flash, and maybe you're touched out. And for me, it's boundaries. So whatever that word is for you, whatever that phrase is, I want you to come up with that, but I want you to have the conversation about it while you're coming up with it, okay? Before you start to use it. So again, I want to say thank you so much for checking out this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And y'all share. Let's get more of us engaged in this conversation. Remember, we're taking it from taboo to hey boo. No, but seriously, we're taking it from taboo to something we could talk about normally, wherever, whenever, just like any other phase of your life. You sit down at dinner and you're talking about your best friend who's pregnant. Why can't we sit down and talk about perimenopause? It doesn't have to be a downer. It doesn't have to be a downer subject. We can just talk about it, okay? So again, thank you so much for checking out this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share with the masses. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Share it with everybody. We got to get the conversation out there. It starts with you and I. It starts with me making the videos and you sharing it with everybody and their mama in them, okay? So share the video. And thank you again. And before I let you go, I want to let you know that you're not crazy. It's just perimenopause. You might be a little bit hormonal. So I'll see you on the next episode. Bye.
September we met. I could tell by your smile you hadn't been with a good girl.